All right, let's talk about a hidden trap that so many successful family businesses fall into. It's a challenge that starts super small but grows into this impossible burden. It's a story about growth, about passing the torch, and about the invisible weight of success. And it all kicks off with one simple number. It all starts right here. 20 kilograms. Now, this number is absolutely key. It represents that manageable beginning, the seed of an idea, that very first small step on what becomes a very long journey. And then it ends here. 2 tons. That is literally 100 times heavier. So how in the world does a manageable weight become an impossible burden? Well, the answer is found in a simple but really powerful story.
So let's dive in. Our story starts at a circus with a performer named Majnu and a newborn elephant. This little fable holds the secret to this entire explainer.
The circus owner gives Majnu a task. Carry this 20-kilo baby elephant every single day. The goal? Well, to build a bond and, create a great spectacle for the crowd. It was a challenge for sure, but a manageable one. Now, here's what's so fascinating, how the change happened. As you can see from this timeline, the growth was gradual. Every day, the elephant gained a little weight, and every single day, Majnu gained just enough strength to match it. What began at 20 kilos became 50, then 500, until years later, he was carrying a fully grown 2-ton elephant.
And this right here is the core idea. For Majnu, the elephant was never this crushing burden because he started at 20 kilos and adapted every single day. That gradual increase just felt normal. He grew with the challenge, completely unaware of the true, incredible weight he was now carrying.
But then, of course, comes the moment of transition. The circus owner sees Majnu getting older and decides, you know what? It's time to pass the torch to his young assistant, Bulbul.
And Bulbul, he's full of confidence. He's watched his mentor handle this elephant with ease for years. He's thinking, how hard can it be? So he steps forward, totally ready to take on the full weight of the responsibility all at once.
He couldn't even budge it, not an inch. That 2-ton weight was immediate, and it was overwhelming. He was instantly crushed by the very same task his mentor made look so effortless. And this is the central question, isn't it? How could he possibly lift 2 tons if he never started at 20 kilos? Bulbul was asked to perform the final feat without ever going through the journey. He was handed the result, not the process. Okay, so now let's see how this fable plays out in the real world. Because this story isn't just about a circus. It's a perfect metaphor for the challenge of succession in family businesses. The parallel is so direct, it's powerful. Majnu, he represents the first-generation founder. The elephant, growing from this manageable start to an immense size. That's the business itself. And Bulbul, he is the next generation, the successor, who's just expected to walk in and take over. I mean, think about how a founder starts. They begin with a 20-kilo version of the business. They're doing everything themselves. They know every client, they handle every crisis, every decision, every risk. It's all theirs to bear. Just like Majnu, they are building their strength and their knowledge every single day. And here is the trap. Because the founder grew with the business, they often don't see its true complexity. To them, the daily chaos, well, that just feels normal. The lack of structure feels like flexibility. They still see their manageable little elephant, but in reality, it has become a 2-ton giant. This brings us to that critical moment of handover. The founder, just like Majnu, decides it's time to step back. But in doing so, they've completely overlooked this massive problem that's been hiding in plain sight. This is what the second generation inherits. It's not a well-oiled machine. It's a 2-ton business running entirely on the founder's intuition. There are no written rules, no standard operating procedures, no formal governance, just one giant, complex operation held together by what's inside one person's mind. And this is the successor's desperate question. They saw how their parent handled it, seemingly with ease, but they just can't replicate it. And why? Because they've been handed the 2-ton elephant without the years of strength building they needed to carry it. But this failure isn't inevitable. It doesn't have to be this way. There is a path forward, a way to prepare both the business and the successor for the weight they're about to inherit. The solution really lies in making the handover about systems, not just a person.
Looking at these steps, the founder's real job becomes clear. It's about taking all the rules out of their head and turning them into formal processes. It's about establishing governance so decisions aren't arbitrary. And it's about actively training the next generation on this new system. Ultimately, the goal is to shift the business from relying on one person to relying on a strong process. And this really gets to the heart of it all. The founder's comfort zone, their unique ability to carry that 2-ton weight, becomes the next generation's biggest obstacle. Without systems, you aren't handing over a business. You're handing over a crushing burden. This leaves us with a final, critical question for you to think about. Your own organization, or one you know well, is it still a manageable 20-kilo operation that someone new could learn, or has it silently grown into a 2-ton giant that only one person truly knows how to carry?
And that's our final takeaway. The strength of one person, like Majnu, is temporary, but the strength of a well-built system, that can last for generations. The true legacy of a founder isn't just the company they built, but the systems they put in place to ensure it can thrive long after they're gone.